I think I've worked out where the Garden of Eden was. If you're unsure who I am and whether or not to actually listen to me, I do have a website, and obviously I've got TikTok videos. But over 40 years, I'm the person that's actually worked out that the evidence of the crystal skulls that have been debunked is actually a lie. I've done videos showing evidence that the Easter Island is not what you think it is. Who Jesus' real father was. I know you're all going to go, it's God. No. And the list just goes on. Göbekli Tepe explained what it was for. No one else has done this. I've explained where Atlantis is, and so on and so on and so on. And not one person's debunked me. I know it sounds big-headed, but I'm just telling you as it is. If you're interested, keep watching my videos, because soon I will release the information on where Eden, or as it was originally pronounced, Eden, was. Anyone remember the 9/11 plane that was hijacked, and a mum got a phone call from one of the passengers on the plane, and the passenger said, "Hi mum, it's," and then gave a full name, not just, "Hey, I'm Fred," it's a full name of the person. I can't remember the name. And the mum found that very strange. Anyway, she was talking to this person that she believed was her son, and in fact at one point the son said to her, "You do know it's me. It is me, mum, isn't it?" And the mum thought that was, again, strange. Anyway, the mum then asked a question, and there was some whispering in the background, and then the phone went dead. And she basically said that she thinks that her son's voice was cloned back in 2001. However, people said, no, there's no such thing. But Meta's now done the same thing. Excuse the dirt on the screen. Meta's done exactly the same thing that they did, and so has 11 Labs. So I'm just saying.
The land of Chem. And the Emerald Tab, it starts on Atlantis, the actual island itself. Thoth's dad sends him to the land of Chem. He calls himself an Atlantean priest. Atlantis was the whole planet. Earth was Atlantis. Everyone is...
So he's gone from an island. Now, to be honest with you, there's really only two ancient places that talk about Atlantis. One is the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, which the actual record that we have would have been about the 1200s, from a translation of possibly older texts, and the other was Plato, who wrote stories. That's what his job was. He wrote many, many different books. And obviously, if you go by Plato's, then it's an island. But of course, now he's saying it's the whole planet. So I would like to see the evidence of this whole planet being Atlantis, because you've probably only got the information from Plato, who, as you watch my videos, you'll see that Plato made up a lot of the stuff. Riddle me this: the crystal skull that belongs to the Mitchell Hedges family, who never actually sold it, they never charged money for it, etc., has been cast a fake. Now, they did let the Hewlett-Packard company and a few other people, such as the Smithsonian, look at it, which is pretty impressive if they believed it was fake. And of course, the Hewlett-Packard actually said it shouldn't exist. It was so well done, certainly for the time. However, if you look down here, everyone calls it fake. And the reason why they call it fake is because the Smithsonian told them it was fake. However, if you want to actually see the real evidence that the Smithsonian were lying, feel free to watch my 1-hour documentary in 3 parts on my Patreon page, where not only do I show that the mainstream lie, that the mainstream copy the mainstream. So in other words, all it takes is one person to say they're fake, and everyone then says they're fake without doing their own research. I have done my research. It's on my Patreon.
So ISIS says, you know what? I've had it. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to take the baby to...
Wow, I'm waiting for the day you actually get something right. So Isis, it was the granddaughter or daughter of Marduk in Egypt. She was also the stepsister of Osiris and Seth. Now, she did not give birth to us humans. It was Nimna. That's actually in the Oxford University translations, as well as many other translations. It's not me making up. Nimna was the person that... Literally, I read them out to people. They're on there. You can go look them up. ISIS wasn't even around 300,000 years ago. Jesus, this does my head in now. It's really starting to bug me. Sorry, guys. So yes, Nimna, not ISIS. Just give up.
This holiday season, dive into the extraordinary with 2 captivating books that unveil the mysteries of our untold history. From the Anunnaki to Atlantis, mermaids, pixies, black ops, aliens, Bigfoot, giants, and to the elusive men in black, unravel the secrets behind ghosts, crop circles, and much more. Be prepared for mind-bending revelations as the evidence is dissected from different angles, providing answers to the unanswered questions that have intrigued us for centuries. Evidence. Maybe in the British newspaper from 2016, the Mirror newspaper reported on a small skeleton with wings. The heading was, "Mystery of Winged Tiny Human Skeletons Found in Basement of Old London House." The paper goes on to say, in the basement of an old house in London, a chilling collection was reportedly discovered, showcasing skeletal winged beings including fairies, werewolves, and aliens. These macabre exhibits were found carefully arranged in cases and jars, presenting mythical creatures in grotesque poses. Among them were fairies with decayed flesh and wings nailed to display boards, alongside eerie alien figures and hairy humanoid remains. The hoard also contained sketches of Jack the Ripper victims Catherine Eddowes and Elizabeth Stride, along with alleged human hearts and organs preserved in jars. This disturbing collection was attributed to Thomas Theodore Merlin, described as a wealthy aristocrat and biologist from the 1800s, according to a blog post recounting the supposed discovery in 1960. As builders prepared to demolish Merlin's long-abandoned mansion in London for a new residential neighborhood, they stumbled upon several thousand tightly sealed small wooden boxes in the basement. These boxes contained the bodies of strange mythical creatures, seemingly plucked from the pages of fairy tales. The story of these shocking artifacts was revealed by artist Alex C.F., who claimed to be the curator of Merlin's collection. According to C.F., Merlin's diaries contained references to advanced ideas that were unheard of at the time, such as quantum physics and the multiverse theory. Allegedly, the diaries also provided scientific explanations for many of the mythical specimens in the collection. Now you're probably wondering if these were faked. What does the paper say about it, I hear you ask? Well, as a national paper, they claim they are fake. They should give the evidence of why they are fake. For example, the Mirror paper should say, "The skeletons are made up from 3 different animals. This was tested in the lab by Joe Bloggs." But this national newspaper doesn't give evidence why they are fake. Here is exactly what the paper says. If specimens like this had actually been found, the British Museum would have dedicated a whole wing to it. And another, called Trey Waite, added, "Obviously fake, but still really, really cool. I'd love to have this stuff." That's all that was said. No evidence at all to say these were faked. Clearly, they have no evidence, just guessing or not even guessing, but maybe told to call them fake by the owners of the media empire. You can actually read the article and see the photos of these creatures. Search Mirror News, Weird News, Mystery-Winged Tiny Human Skeletons. Are there any small skeletons that are real, regardless of where they come from? If there are some found that are real, then surely that could mean some of these creatures around the world could have been real. Well, the answer is yes. We have 2 skeletons from different locations that are proved to be real. In Chile's Atacama Desert, a mummified skeleton was discovered 15 years ago, sparking speculation due to its unusual appearance. Measuring only 6 inches tall, the skeletal remains initially seemed consistent with a child aged 6 to 8 years, but distinct features such as a long, angular skull, slanted eye sockets, and fewer than normal ribs deepen the mystery. The skeleton, named Ata, garnered attention as some speculated it could be an unidentified primate or even an extraterrestrial being. However, mainstream
Crystal Skulls, my 1-hour documentary split into 3 parts, is now available on my Patreon page. And if you've watched some of my recent videos about the Crystal Skulls, you'll see that I actually actively prove that the institutions that say they're fake are lying. And if you watch the hour version, which is here on, along with many other videos on my Patreon page, you'll see not only are they real, not only are we being lied to, but they do actually have special properties according to companies like Hewlett-Packard. If you're interested in finding out more about the Crystal Skulls, it's on my Patreon page, patreon.com/OurTrueHistory. And as you know, the way I research, the first thing I do is look at who's debunked things. That's the way I work. And then when you realise that the establishments all sort of let's be honest, gets back to the Rockefellers. Once, yeah, you know.